We've seen actors and directors like Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, Martin Scorsese, and Leonardo DiCaprio bring out the best in each other, and because of their incredible chemistry, they go on to make great movies together. But some actor-director duos, well, let's just say they don't always get along. So sit back and relax as we list 15 actors and directors who never wanted to work together again. First off, at number 15, we have Julia Roberts and Steven Spielberg. Julia Roberts got the part of Tinkerbell in Steven Spielberg's movie Hook after breaking up with Kiefer Sutherland, her boyfriend at the time. The cast and crew thought Roberts was crazy and always in a bad mood when she would sit in her trailer for hours, and when Spielberg needed her for a scene, she would be late to set. This made the actor and director not get along so well. Spielberg later said that Julia probably went through the hardest times of her life while filming, and said it was just bad luck that she started working on Hook at that low point in her life. He does look like a sympathetic guy. Next, at number 14, Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis. Kevin Smith says that Bruce Willis only considered him an amateur director and that the actor didn't help him make Cop Out. Smith also said that Bruce once told him, "I'm Bruce Willis, and I've been doing this for 25 years with great success," and asked him how long Smith had been doing this for. Okay, that was brutal from Willis. They also had problems that affected the way they did their jobs. Sometimes people just don't get along. Followed by number 13, Judd Apatow and Katherine Heigl. In an interview with Vanity Fair in 2008, Heigl said that her character in Knocked Up by Judd Apatow was a little sexist. She added that it makes women look like shrews who don't have a sense of humor and are too serious, and it makes the men look like cute, goofy, fun-loving guys. And then asked the director, "Why do you show women this way?" Fast forward to a year later in 2009 during an interview on The Howard Stern Show, Apatow talked about how he felt about what Heigl said. And we saw an unfathomable, unbothered Apatow who said that he was waiting for Heigl to call him and apologize, but the call never came. Not to mention at number 12, Faye Dunaway and Roman Polanski. Dunaway's time on the set of Chinatown wasn't her or director Roman Polanski's favorite memory, and according to the actress, Polanski was rude to her because she was a woman. Even going to the bathroom made them fight. Polanski wouldn't let Dunaway go to the bathroom during a scene in a car, and so the story goes, she filled a cup with her urine and threw it in his face. Deserved? Coming up at number 11, Bjork and Lars von Trier. Since the beginning of the filming for Dancer in the Dark, there has been tension between Bjork and the director Lars von Trier. In one unusual case, Bjork greeted von Trier by spitting on the ground. She would be late to set, and when she got there, she didn't pay any attention to von Trier. And when she was finally ready to talk to him, von Trier was sick of how she had acted. So he took a chair and broke a big monitor next to her. When Bjork talked about the director, she didn't hold back. She said that he needs a woman to give his work soul, and added that he hates them because he wants what they have. So he has to break them up while the movie is being made and cover up the proof. That's intense. Now for number 10, we have Val Kilmer and Joel Schumacher. During the making of Batman Forever, Joel Schumacher started to dislike Val Kilmer more and more. According to the director, Kilmer didn't act right and he was rude and out of place. He added, quote, "I'm tired of defending overpaid, overprivileged actors." Safe to say their chemistry showed in the absolute train wreck of a Batman movie. What's more, Penelope Spheris and Mike Myers at number 9. What started as a skit on Saturday Night Live became a popular comedy film where Penelope Spheris was in charge of making Wayne's World. But Mike Myers didn't like how the movie turned out in the end, so he wanted to keep editing it without Spheris. Also, he didn't want Spheris to be a part of the sequel. Spheris politely backed down because Myers was very popular then, and the studio couldn't make a sequel without him. Not to forget, at number 8, we have Joss Whedon and Gal Gadot. Joss Whedon took over for Zack Snyder during reshoots for 2017's Justice League. But Gal Gadot didn't have a good time on set though. According to Gadot's experience, she was shocked by how Whedon treated her. He added that if he had said something effed up to her, he must also say it to many other people. This makes us quite glad the Snyder Cut got released. That brings us to number 7, Robert Downey Jr. and David Fincher. Famously, David Fincher has a very busy shooting schedule. After filming The Zodiac, Fincher remembered what Robert Downey Jr. said while they were working. Robert came up to him and said he couldn't work like this. He never got to go to his trailer and could get his act together. But the worst part was when Downey protested Fincher's demanding schedule by leaving jars of urine around the set. That sounds bitter. Now let's learn about Bryan Cranston and Tony Kaye at number 6. When a reporter told Bryan Cranston they loved his movie Detachment, the actor was surprised. According to Cranston, writer Carl Lund wrote a beautiful and haunting script and he didn't think it was a big deal, but that bothered him, and because of that, he didn't see the movie. He also added that Tony Kaye is a complicated interesting person, quote, but I don't think I will work with him again. Short but sweet from Mr. White. Up next at number 5, we have Christian Bale and Mick G. It's safe to say that Terminator 4, directed by Mick G, didn't do as well as its predecessors. Christian Bale explained how Mick G got the actor for his movie. He asked Bale to give him a chance as everyone needed to grow, and he needed to turn over a new leaf. Mick G also begged him to take a leap of faith with him. Damn, that sounds desperate. Christian Bale ended up taking the role, but he promised himself he wouldn't be working with him again. How can we forget number 4, Wesley Snipes and David S. Goyer? Blade Trinity was a tortured production according to director David S. Goyer. His main complaints with Wesley Snipes revolved around how he wouldn't follow the script and let his stuntman do most of the shooting unless it was a close-up of his face. Goyer also added that he doesn't think anyone who worked on that film had a good time because he didn't. Following at number 3, we have Ed Harris and James Cameron. We saw Ed Harris talking about a traumatic scene from the filming of The Abyss, which James Cameron directed. The traumatic scene was the underwater scene where Harris brings Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's character back to life. But according to Harris, James didn't know how this whole thing would go down, so they were his guinea pigs. And in the scene where she's drowning, Harris yells at her to come back and wake up and slaps her across the face. But then he noticed that the camera had run out of film. There was a light on it, but no one had said anything. Mary Elizabeth stood up and said, "We're not animals," before walking off the set. Coming up next are Cher and Steve Antin at number 2. Cher thought her character in Burlesque, directed by Steve Antin, could have been written in a better way. She also called him a terrible director and a horrible writer. Ouch. While shooting, he told Cher that he didn't care what she was saying, all he wanted to do was shoot the dance numbers. Well, if it had been shorter, it would have made a great movie to watch while eating popcorn. Finally, at number 1, we have Jessica Alba and Tim Story. In Tim Story's movie Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, Jessica Alba reprised her role of Sue Storm. She remembered a scene where she was supposed to be emotional, but Story kept criticizing her acting. He told her not to do that thing with her face and asked her to flatten it because the CG was going to put tears in her eyes. And this made her wonder if she was good enough. She questioned her instincts and also talked about how she felt she had to restrain herself on set after Story said that. But she brushed it off and finished the shooting as soon as possible. And that is all for today's video, my friends. What are your thoughts on this list? Please let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ready to shoot? Yeah. All right. Let's shoot up.
And this little boy just wants someone to tell him that he's doing a good job.
Guys? Mercy, but not your every wish.